Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me at the Love Manual. I'm Mel, your host. And today I actually have the pleasure of interviewing a certified relationship coach who is also a counseling psychologist, and she is a member of the Complementary Therapist Accredited Association. Please help me welcome Blessing to the show. Hi, Blessing. How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm doing great. Thank
Good.
you.
It's so good to see you. It's good to see you. I want to ask you a quick question about the pandemic and what's going on with this. How are you feeling and how are you coping with the pandemic?
Well, the pandemic has really brought, a lot of uncertainties into our lives.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, some of my clients have lost their jobs and some are working fewer hours, and this set them back a little bit on canceling.
Yeah.
But so far, it's been good for me. Not that I'm rejoicing, but I'm happy that I'm healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm currently working with Thumbtack as an independent contractor.
Oh.
So this helps me get clients without going to source for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can always work with them remotely or in person. I have a home office.
Oh, that is beautiful. Isn't that the best when you can work from home and get your job done?
Exactly.
So, can you do me a favor and tell everybody a little bit about what you do, please?
Sure, it's my pleasure.
Okay.
As a certified relationship and marriage coach and a life coach too, and also a psychologist, a Christian, and a wife, I have been able to gain lots of experiences that has to do with handling issues in other people's lives. Handling issues in people's lives, it's a very huge responsibility because I always have to be very careful and empathetic as well as very diplomatic.
Yeah.
So it's been beautiful, and I've been able to help people with their relationships. I've been able to coach people on life issues such as anxiety, stress related problems, anger management,
Mm.
um, divorce issues when people are not certain about which way to take. I
Mhm.
help them to gain clarity on their situation. I also coach people when they have suicidal thoughts,
Oh,
abuse. Yes, exactly.
wow.
I help them to understand the meaning of life and make the best
Yeah.
choices for themselves. So it has been very rewarding.
That is amazing. I love what you do, and a lot of people need that not only during this pandemic, but they just need it in their lives in general, and I think that you are doing an amazing job at handling these situations, as far as helping people, like you said, with suicidal tendencies and thoughts and anxiety, because a lot of people go through these things and not only, like I said, because of the pandemic, but just face it. They face this in their lives daily, So I think that is a good job that what you're doing, and I applaud you. It's very
Thank
hard to,
you.
take on somebody else's, needs when you're dealing with your own needs. So
Exactly.
how do you when you're mending the relationships, like what is the success rate? Do a lot of people tend to stay together after you coach them, or like how does that work?
Well, so far I've had about 95% success rates. And I
Wow.
take pride in the success of my clients. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I don't just coach them and allow them to walk alone. I walk with them every step.
Wow.
I
That is so great.
Exactly. I check
Yeah.
in on them like every 2 days to make sure they're not having any challenges that they're not able to overcome. And then
Yeah.
we just maneuver the obstacle together, and I encourage them to keep pushing. So it's been great.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's so
Right.
good because, sometimes therapists, they do get into your lives and then they'll take care of you for what, like 3 months, and then that's it because they think that that's all, it is. But, I can tell that you have a lot of compassion, for what you do, and, you serve in your community as far as relationships go. So I think that's really, really good. You're a blessing. I guess that's why your mom named you that.
You can say that again.
Blessing. Yes, you are a blessing to a lot of people. So I'm pretty sure, they're like, so they entrust you with, their lives, or else they would not keep coming back. So how long
Exactly.
were you a relationship and life coach? How long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been coaching for a very long time, over 5 years. And I started coaching people living with autism.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, I went over to coaching people living with HIV/AIDS.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Before I went into life coaching and then
Mhm.
relationship coaching, and then I certified as a psychologist. So it has been progressively coming. I like getting involved in other people's lives, not because I want to meddle in their problems, but because I want to help out. I want
Absolutely.
people to live more rewarding and fulfilling life. It's very beautiful.
It really is. And that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you next. How has your success as a life and relationship coach help you in your own life? I know you take your own advice, and I'm pretty sure you give your significant other your advice, but how does it work, in your life right now?
I must say, it is beautiful. There is a saying that you cannot teach people what you do not practice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Exactly. So
Yep,
if
I
you want to professionalize in what you do,
mhm.
you should be able to use the techniques and see the results firsthand before
Yeah.
you can introduce it to someone else.
Wow.
So it has helped me. The more I coach these couples, it's just like I'm talking to myself,
Mhm.
because I cannot tell a couple to be sweet and kind to each other whilst I do a different thing.
Right.
And also, if I'm trying to mend a relationship and make people happier, I also deserve the same kind of happiness too, or even more.
Yes, I
So,
agree. I love that philosophy of you cannot teach someone if you haven't gone through it, or if you're not taking your own advice. How are you, going to tell someone, okay, be happy and be this and be that, if you're not that way yourself? So that's really good. I appreciate that you take that, with pride, and the way that you talk about your couples and everything. I could just see the happiness come off you when you're speaking about what you
yes.
do. So that's really good. How long have you been doing this? How long have you been a life and relationship coach?
Okay. Into relationship, I've been doing it for over about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Before, yeah, I specialized in relationship because it took me time to be able to handle someone else's relationship professionally. I had to make more research, read more of the scriptures to understand how I can help Christian couples and not Christian couples as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had to, use my own experiences and the experiences of others and
Mm-hmm.
tested the hypothesis. And I'm able to, like, okay, I'm good to go. If
Yeah.
this is real and it works for me, why not? And when I
Right.
put it out, I see my clients being successful and happy, then I know I'm doing a good job.
I love, love, love that. That's true. What made you like want to become a life coach and relationship coach? Is it something that happened previously in your life, or you just feel like you just had this gift? Because it is a gift to be able to speak, to couples and actually help them on their relationship journey, and for them to come out of that positively. So, what made you want to do that?
Well, I would say it's a gift for me to help people. I love to help in any way possible. I've been that way since I was a child. Whilst I was growing up, I realized I do not want to see anyone suffering in their lives or crying. I want to assist. So, down the road, I was a presenter for a relationship and marriage program. That should be about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this show brought a lot of refreshment in the lives of people because people came on the show and talked about their personal problems, life issues, those who have been abused, widowed, and too many. People gained so much refreshment. And I thought, then I have to take this forward. If I can
Wow.
have this show and it can touch lives as much as this, then more people need help in their lives. And then I moved forward to help people in any area possible. I volunteered, I got paid, just in any way I found myself doing this. So I kept moving forward with this.
I love that. That is really interesting that you said that because, like you said, it is a gift. I can tell, you're not just a regular, ordinary counselor, love coach, therapist. You actually have a lot of compassion. Some of them may have it, but they don't exude it. I see it just bouncing right off of you. And your name fits you perfectly. It really and truly does. So when you are coaching, do you tend to work on couples but individually? Like, do you speak with the wife and then speak with the husband and then speak with them together?
Yes, I do. In some cases, some couples approach me and they just need a little bit of help, a little bit of push, reassurance, tips, and encouragement. And it doesn't have to go too long talking to them individually. But then after every session, I talk with the women individually because sometimes, in during a session, what you say in general, you just want the woman to know a specific thing. And being a woman, I have more tips that I would like the woman to know about marriage that I may not want to say in the presence of her husband.
Oh, right.
Not
No,
because it's a secret.
that's very good, Blessed. I like
Right.
that.
So I'm like, okay, I have a chat. I have a WhatsApp group for women that
Uh-huh.
I coach them once every week. We have lectures. We talk about marriage. You encourage each other. It's been wonderful. So I let my women clients come on this WhatsApp group and we just talk as ladies on how we can improve our marriage. And that has been great.
Wow. Well, I love that. It's always room for improvement. Sometimes people get into relationships and think that, this is how I am and this is what you're going to get. But when they meet somebody like you who can actually explain, the do's and the don'ts of relationships and, it just makes them feel a lot better, especially having that women's group, like you said, and then coming from you, I know they just feel the love. And another question that I was going to ask that's pertaining to marriage and people getting along is how far should you go when you're trying to compromise with your spouse and or with someone that you're trying to start dating or getting to know? What's like the compromising level? I mean, I'm not sure if there is one.
Okay. It's very important to compromise in your relationship. We cannot know it all. We cannot always say the right thing or do the right things. So when you get into a relationship with someone, you should have in mind that the other person has a mind of their own. They have their own ideas and beliefs. So love is not all you need. You need
Right.
compromising definitely. And as long as the both of you can agree on little things such as the sky is blue, and which is obvious, and you know, so it shows that well, there is some sort of compatibility. You are not going to have someone 100% compatible with you because you are all
Right.
imperfect. So
Right.
it gets to a point where you have 70% of what you desire from a mate, and you work with that. Because
Yeah.
when you expect 100, you may end up being very disappointed.
Yes.
And we are also not 100%. So we
Right.
cannot expect someone else to be 100% to us, but they can give us their 100%, which is total commitment to the relationship.
Right.
And And also in compromising, there are boundaries. If it is life threatening, then you cannot continue.
Right. Yes.
But if it's
Agree.
not abusive, it's not manipulative, it's not life threatening, why not? If this is going to bring peace and love into your relationship. So, humility is very important in a relationship. When you are humble, it helps you to have an open mind. You're able to learn from your partner, listen to them, and see their
Yeah.
viewpoints and not just agreeing on your own thing all the time.
I agree. I think that is very good information to give someone who's thinking about, okay, I'm not going to compromise. Or, like you said, we don't come 100%. We may have 70%. And we're trying to give 100% in that relationship. We have to compromise, of course. So, if people are trying to find you, Blessing, where should they look for you? I mean, what are your sites? Tell me, please.
Okay, well, I am almost everywhere. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Your Marriage Can Be Saved. And I'm also on Thumbtack as Your Marriage Can Be Saved. I'm on Fiverr, Wikipedia, Tevo, Chara. They can find me on all of these sites.
Mhm.
I'm also on LinkedIn. And I have my website, which is www.yourmarriagecanbesaved.com.
Mm.
And also on Instagram at Your Marriage Can Be Saved. So they can always find me with the hashtag Your Marriage Can Be Saved.
Oh, I love it. Well, a lot of our listeners are definitely going to go to that because, a lot of people are struggling right now, especially being stuck at home with their other half, during the pandemic. So some of them probably were not getting along before the pandemic. So being stuck in the house with them is, a little stressful. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be looking you up. What advice would you give, a couple that, or people that are just trying to start dating, or couples that are in relationships that are having relationship issues?
Okay, well, I'm gonna start from people who are about to start dating.
Mhm.
If you're about to start dating someone, I know that looks are very important, and their CV, their resume. You want to know what they studied, what they do. Those things are not the most important, but it's necessary to get to know those things. Just find out how responsible they are.
Mhm.
Ask questions. When you're about to get into a relationship and you want to move it to the next level, you want it to be long term or lead to marriage, do not just enjoy the company of each other without getting to know more about them.
Right.
Know about their values, likes and dislikes, future plans.
Mhm.
I am saying this because I've had couples who got married and found out that their goals do not match. But how come they didn't know this whilst they were dating for years?
Right, right.
It shows that you are not communicating the right way. So
Mhm.
marriage is too deep for you to go in and begin to have regrets.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely, yeah, then you're not gonna have happy times every day. But
Right.
then you should be sure. Then you should be sure of what you're going in.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Exactly, exactly. Ask questions. Find out about their family background.
Mhm.
Find out about what his culture is like, the food he loves to eat. Find out about what he can compromise on. Find out if they want kids or not. All of these things are very important. Talk about finances. All of those things need to be discussed when you want to date someone long term. So do not just go in, and make sure if you're a man or a woman, set healthy boundaries from the start of your relationship. So
I agree, Blessed.
exactly.
I do. That is just very important. And a lot of people do get into relationships and then don't know how to communicate and get to know what each other want out of the relationship and out of their partners, and what can I offer you and what can you offer me. And like you said earlier, everybody is not 100%, but we have to work on these things, and communication is definitely a big part of working it out. So, what advice would you give people that are in relationships already and that are married?
Hmm. Well, you were married to each other, so
Mhm.
congratulations. Well,
That was funny.
marriage is the reality of
Uh-huh.
all of the happy times you had during your relationship. Relationship is more like you just being at your best. When
Yeah.
you get married, reality hits you. That
Yeah.
when you have to wake up and he can see you with your messy hair.
Right.
He can see you when
Mhm.
you take off your wig, and he can see,
Yeah.
oh, this is how you look.
Yep, take off the makeup and everything else. Yep.
Exactly.
I
So if
agree.
you are married and it's been 1 year, 2 years, do not start being too comfortable with your spouse and
Yeah.
stop doing the things you used to do whilst you were dating.
Yes.
Because when you stop doing those beautiful things that brought you back, the relationship begins to seem very boring and uninteresting for you too. Disagreements are going to happen. But when you constantly argue on things you can just let go, it reduces the love in the marriage.
Yeah.
Now, the goal is peace, unity, and understanding. If you have a hard time understanding your partner, why not next time there is a situation, allow them to explain, allow them to express themselves. Do not allow your partner to walk on eggshells because they don't want to offend you. Give
Right.
everyone the room to communicate and express themselves. In that way, you can maintain the friendship in the marriage.
Wow. You give some great advice. A lot of people are going to be like, I'm going to see Blessing because she helped me out. And what you just spoke about in this little bit of time is actually going to help a lot of people in their relationship tonight, and it's really important, like you said, for everyone to communicate, because without that, how am I supposed to know what you want, and how are you supposed to know what I want? So communication is definitely a two-way street. And what you do is just a gift from God. And your mom, like I said, she named you correctly,
Thank
you know,
you.
and you are beautiful. And I can tell that your soul is beautiful, and what you do shows, right? I know the people that you coach they probably can't wait to talk to you the next time,
That's
and that's
true.
and that's a good feeling. I know it is, right?
Yeah, it's very wonderful. It makes me feel happy that I'm able to touch lives.
Yeah,
And I'm not just doing this because of the money, because I get paid. No, I can
right.
choose any other career, but this is so rewarding for me. Seeing
Yeah.
couples back on their feet and smiling and being happy.
Mhm.
You can see the glow on the face of the woman, then you know you're
Yes.
doing a good job.
Absolutely. I really and truly appreciate you sharing your expertise with the audience, and I sure would love to have you back again, so that way we can have people call in and send us messages, and so that way you and I can address some of the needs of the people, because they just need to hear it sometimes, and who better to give it to them than Blessing?
Right.
you know so I appreciate you so much, and they will be looking forward to hearing from you on your YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, every platform that you named. I'm pretty sure they're going to rewind so that way they can actually jot this information down. But you are an inspiration to a lot of people, and I commend you on what you do, and I would love for you to continue giving everybody a bit of your blessing.
Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you welcoming me to this program. It's also a blessing to me to be here tonight. I love
Oh,
it.
I appreciate it so much. And, for my listening audience, thank you so much for listening. That was Blessing. And I'll have her back on the show again. Blessing, you make sure you have a good night, okay?
Thank you so much. And you
Thank
too. Hope to
you.
speak
Thank
with you
you.
again.
Oh, you sure will. Thank you so much,
All
Blessing.
right.
Okay,
Bye
bye bye.
bye.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me at the Love Manual. If you want to go to the website, please go to www.thelovemanual.com. And you also can email us at contact@thelovemanual.com. And if you want to find us on Facebook, please go to facebook.com/the Love Manual page. And if you want to find us on Twitter, you can go to twitter.com/the_love_manual. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I am Mel, your host of the Love Manual. And until next time.